Blades, we welcome you as we look ahead to Sheffield United versus Burnley. It's a Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff at beautiful downtown Bramall Lane, aka the SANDER 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 sign for some reason. Now we can all get even as we both go down. There is just over a month to go until the end of the season. Last Saturday, Sheffield United, hey, that's the team I support, lost at Brentford, but I've looked at the terrible stats, and we did win more corners, and that's the real quiz. Now, we know that United will start the next season that we're in the Championship, so next season, on -2 points. Just imagine the scene, if you will. Missing out on the Premier League by just 2 points. Wouldn't that be brilliant? So it's Burnley at home in what I'm dubbing 𝗷𝗚𝗂𝗂𝗂. Let's talk Blades team news. So we know about the long termers. I won't go through all of those, but 𝗏𝗏 went over on his ankle, so if he's out, who plays right wing back? And probably will be out. Jack Robinson went off with an injury in our draw at home against Chelsea. Will he be back in the starting lineup? But let's see if he makes it. And on to that, James from our Patreon has predicted his 11. If you'd also like to predict your lineup like this, you can join the Fan Hub community with the link in the description or by using the code SHE-YC5. So he's gone with 𝗬𝗍𝗏 in goal, Osborne, Trusty. So no 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏. Interesting, because he wasn't bad, actually, I thought, in that previous Brentford game. Holgate, Anel, Jackie Longthrow, if he makes it, 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, Sousa, Ben Brereton Diaz, and Ollie McBurney. And I'm just going to stick my head above the parapet and just say, I want Ollie McBurney to sign a new deal. I want him to be here next season. How likely that is, only time will tell. I'd be really interested in your thoughts on Ollie McBurney. Drop them in the comments. Darren on our Patreon has suggested that Andre Brooks for Bogle being the only change, with Osborne then switching to play at right wing back. He's left-footed, but he has done it before. We know that he can. Is Vinicius Sousa going to start, or is Wilder very much planning, do you think, for next season without him? He has brought Slimani on as well ahead of Andre Brooks in the past 3 games, so could we see Slimani starting? Even though Slimani did start for the under-21 side, which thrashed Watford, Slimani was taken off in that 5-0 win on the hour, so you'd think should be fresh enough for this weekend contest. Asula, he is so cooler. He scored a hat-trick in that game, and I also thought Sam Curtis played well, so he's a player that can play right wing back. Could he be involved? What do you think Chris Wilder will go with? As always, this episode of the Sheff United Way is sponsored by Greene King Sports, where football is more than a game. Make Greene King your go-to destination for the season's final stretch. Why? For one, you can watch every Sheffield United game down with delicious food and refreshing beverages. And with 900 sports clubs dotted around the UK, chances are you're within walking distance of your local Greene King. Let's be honest, watching football is way better with friends and family, so get the squad together for every televised Premier League fixture in an atmosphere worth sharing. That includes huge title showdowns, the race for European qualification, and nail-biting relegation 6-pointers. And don't forget to download the Greene King Sports app to enjoy exclusive competitions and discounts whenever there's a game on. Let's talk about our 19th placed opponents, Burnley, who'll be joining us by a miracle in the Championship next season. They sit on 20 points from 33 games played. They drew 1-1 at home with Brighton and Hove Albion in their last match. A horror own goal from the keeper 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, following a back pass from 𝗓𝗓𝗏. 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 has made errors before. That was actually after Josh Brownhill had given the Clarets the lead. So I think the question some Burnley fans will be asking is, James Trafford, does he come back in goal? Burnley's lineup that day was 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. They went with 4 across the back. They will again, I'm sure. 𝗂𝗍𝗂𝗂-𝗏𝗏, who's recently said he's settled in well, but isn't a fan of the Lancashire weather. And Vitinho. Dara O'Shea, worth mentioning, was suspended for the Brighton game following a red card in Burnley's 1-0 defeat against Everton, so he could be in the mix to come back. The midfield looking like Foster, Cullen, Berg and Larsson. And we've got, I've said Sander's name about 3 different times already. I mean, no one ever had a conscious, concrete decision on that one, did we? We all, like 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 and 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏, I mean, where do we really go? Odobert and Fofana up front in that game. Now, we've got Amin Al-Dakil, Jordan Bayer, Aaron Ramsey, not that one, Luca Koleosho and Nathan Redmond have all been missing in recent weeks through injury for Burnley. Now, the referee for Sheffield United versus Burnley is Anthony Taylor. He's from Cheshire. This season, he's taken charge of 37 matches, issuing, get this, 155 yellows. For a bit of context, that's high. He's given 8 red cards, 3 of which were second yellows. That's high. And he's given 18 penalties. That's very high. He previously refereed a couple of decent games for Sheffield United. Well, he played well for certainly spells in both of them. He refereed our 2-2 at Bournemouth, and before that, our 1-1 at Villa, where I really thought we played really well. Now, let's think about player connections. That's players that played for Sheffield United and Burnley. Obviously, Sander Berge, Stephen Jordan, former left-back, Andy Gray, former striker, and Gareth Taylor, a striker who once scored a volley. I was at this game at home against Forest, which was so good, the cameraman missed it. That's all I really remember about that game. I think we won 1-0. Who can you think of that played for the Blades and the Clarets? Now, in our last 5 against Burnley, we've won 2 and lost 3. We haven't drawn since the 5th of July 2020. 1-1 at Burnley. That, of course, another top-flight fixture, but let's not discuss the last match at their place. What do our patrons think in our Patreon group? Well, Ewan thinks a high-scoring 6-5 to Burnley. You're reading comics if you think we're scoring 5. By the way, if you want to be part of our Patreon group, it's very easy to do. I will give you the details now. You can go to patreon.com/Sheff United Way. Steve says 3-1 United, and always positive. Our stats man Adam has actually gone against his own positivity, and maybe he's trying a bit of reverse psychology because he said Blades 1, Burnley 4. Let me know your score prediction in the comments, and if you get a chance as well, please do check out our audio podcast. I started saying this a few weeks ago. If you could leave us a review about the audio podcast on iTunes, well, very grateful to those of you that have done it. It is very much appreciated, and it's a way of us knowing that you like the content. Always more stuff on there, including a recent podcast, which we've also got a video of on this channel, about 𝗂𝗍𝗂𝗏𝗏 versus Sander Berge or BERGE. You can check that out whenever you've got time. Thanks for watching.